I'm gonna assume that it's finished.
No, I think it's still downloading.
Oh yeah, you're right. It is. It's still downloading. Okay, we'll let that go. We'll continue on with our stuff here. So yeah, so that's .NET 5 no longer needs Xamarin. .NET Framework still only runs on Windows. So anybody using it should stop using it and move over to .NET 5.0. So it's interesting that he also provides searching hints. Remember, I just told you that there's no way that you're ever going to be able to memorize everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's not possible. You just can't. So when you're looking for something, he gives you some searching hints. So if you're using DuckDuckGo, you can actually there's ways to search specific sites. And one of the biggest programming sites, let's go ahead and open up a Chrome browser while this is installing in the background. So Stack Overflow is a website that you're going to want to create an account for. All right. So Stack Overflow is a website where developers go to get all their answers. Now, believe it or not, this is where you're going to get 90, I would say maybe even 95, maybe even 99% of your answers are going to be on this website. So let's go ahead and open up a new tab and go to DuckDuckGo. And he has an example here where you do a exclamation point, type in exclamation, and then SO and it stands for Stack Overflow. So there's shortcuts, and then space, and then type in secure string, all one word. And then press enter or search. And here's your question. When would I need a secure string in that? So go ahead and click on that first link. And so this is a person, I shouldn't say a guy. Here's a person that asked a question. And as you scroll down, you see that answer that has a check mark? That happened to be what answered his question. There's going to be more answers, but those other answers didn't answer his question. So chances are that whatever problem you're running into, someone already ran into that problem. And so you can go to DuckDuckGo, or you can go to Google, and I'll show you, we'll do a demo right now in Google for searching. And if you look for the answer, chances are that's going to be your answer. Obviously, you'll need to read the question to make sure that that is the problem that you're having. And then you go and look for the answer. And this is where you're going to get most of your answers from when you're developing. It's like, how do I do this? How do I do that? So if you just type in, if you go to DuckDuckGo and you put exclamation SO for Stack Overflow, space, and then what you're searching for, it's going to go search Stack Overflow, and you'll be able to get the answer to whatever problem you're experiencing and get the resolution here. So how does this work in Google? Let's go to Google, open up a new tab, and you can just write in that search. And so here, let's type in garbage collection, 2 words, and then space, and then you're going to type in site, stackoverflow.com. And then, go ahead and press enter. Ooh, what is this? Garbage collection site. Oh, stackoverflow.com.
Oh. Oops. Okay.
So you can see where, go ahead and open up one of those links. Oh, that's Amazon. Wait a second, go back. What?
I think, hold on. There you go.
Oh, there you go. Okay. And so here, it actually brings you to Stack Overflow. So it actually searches Stack Overflow for your answers. If you were just to search garbage collection, you're probably going to get a bunch of articles. And if you're having an actual problem with garbage collection, then you want to be able to target Stack Overflow. you know, and so this is probably where you're going to get most of your answers from. Garbage collector, look at this, in Java. So if we want the garbage collector in C#, let's go back to that search. You would do a after .com, do a space, and then just put plus C#. And now you get the garbage collector for C#.
Ooh.
And so, you know, this is when you're having problems, you're trying to figure something out. This is probably the best place to be able to do that. Oh, let's go back to Ubuntu, to your virtual box.
Yeah.
Yeah. And go ahead and click any key, and you're gonna have to log in. It locks it in. Just press enter. Yeah. Oh man, this thing's still going, huh? Still installing the updates.
Oh,
all right.
then.
Oh, okay, cool. Hit okay. Nice. Okay, so now let's go up to devices, up at the top menu.
Oh.
Yeah, devices. And then you see at the bottom, it says insert guest addition CD image. Go ahead and click on that. So what this is going to do, this is actually, there you go, run it. The additions is what helps scale your machine so that you can actually fill in your whole window. You can do full screen resolution. You can do partial resolution. There's all these different types of resolutions that you can do. It also allows you to copy, like say, for example, you copy a text from maybe Notepad on your machine and you want to copy it to the virtual box or to Ubuntu. It allows you to share the clipboard and stuff like that. And so it's press return to close this window. All right, so let's restart this machine. And the way that you restart it, you see the power button? Yeah, right there. And power off. Click on that and then restart. All right, so let's go back to that little power thing, the power button. Let's go to settings. And let's go to appearance. Oh, displays, there you go. And your resolution, go ahead and bump it up a couple. Let me see what I have. I think what I did was let's go ahead and try 1280 by 960. No, 1280 by 800. Try that one. Yeah, try that one and hit apply. Go ahead and keep those changes. So this increases the window a little bit. Let's go a little bit bigger. You want to do the 16 by 9 aspect.
Okay.
I think that's going to be, try it. Go ahead and try the 16 by 1050. Apply that. Yeah, you see it's too big. Go ahead and keep those changes, but let's change it to one lower. Maybe the 14. No, it's a 5 by 4 aspect. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, that one, the 14 by 9. And then hit apply. So there's that. Let's go ahead and shut down the machine for a moment. And power off. Power off, yeah. And then and let's go and go back to VirtualBox. Go to settings. And let's go to display. And let's do, so video memory, let's bump that all the way up to 128. All right. And then let's go to remote display. And no, go ahead and go back to the screen. Let me look at this for a second. So the monitors, the scale factors. Go ahead and click OK on this. And let's go ahead and restart it. Go ahead and just click on the start, yeah. You can get rid of those ribbons. So let's go over to the view menu way up on top. And let's go to full screen mode. And switch. And then let's go ahead and go to your display settings. So go to the down arrow and go to settings. And let's go to displays. And let's go ahead and let's do, I think it's going to be, try 1600 by 1050. Go ahead and keep those settings. Okay, I think we could still go a little bit bigger. Let's go one, you're already there.
Oh.
Let's go 16 by 1920 by 1200. Try that one. Apply. Keep the settings. There you go. Now you're full screen. That takes up your whole screen, right?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so we're gonna hit the X on that. Now you got some screen real estate there. Let's go back to the applications. And let's go look for, is there a search? Yeah. You see the search?
Oh, yeah.
Up on top, yeah. Type in Visual Studio Code. Oh, it's already installed. Oh, okay, cool. We can close this. And so the way that you get to your software, can you click on activities? That one way up on top. Type in Visual Studio. There it is. Click on that Visual Studio. All right. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We are going to install. So you see, go down to that bottom box on your left. Right under File menu, you have, yeah, there you go, extensions, that one right there. And look for Live Server. This is what runs your website, right? So click on that and install it. And then let's go back to your files. And then let's go ahead and open up the editors, go up.
Sorry.
Yeah, good, okay. All right, open up editor. Open editor, there you go. And let's create a new file. Oh, okay, I see what's going on. So yeah, so we want to open up a folder. So let's go to File, the menu, and Open Folder. And let's go click inside of Jonathan and Documents, and go ahead and just hit OK. And let's go ahead and open up a new, create a new document in there and just call it index.html. And then go ahead and press enter. And then right there, type in HTML and HTML5, click on select the HTML5. And just put a hello world on that body. All right, right click or save it. And then right click and open with live server. So let's go to open up Firefox. And so this is going to be running on localhost colon 5000. Go back to Visual Studio. Let's see what port it's actually working on. Oh, 5500. You see down at the bottom? It says port 5500. Yeah, so it's port 5500. So go back to Firefox. Localhost colon 5500. Enter. Yay. So all the development that you've done to this point with all the websites that you've worked on, you can actually do it inside of Linux. Yeah, I mean, use Ubuntu as you continue to learn code and mix it up, you know, go and I would use Git.
Would I have to download Git on the virtual machine too?
No, that's the beauty of it. So go back to activities, click on activities. and then search for terminal. Click on that terminal. So in here, I believe, so if you type in PWD, present working directory, press enter. So you're already in Jonathan. So you would do your CD space and then type in capital DOC, enter. And so if you do an LL, which is going to list whatever you have in there, you'll see that you have your index.html. So what you could do is you can create a repos folder. So the way that you would do that is you would type in mkdir, make directory, space, repos, REPOS, enter. And then you would change directories into that repos. So CD repos, enter. Okay, now go and grab one of your projects from GitHub. All right, press enter. So Git not found. Okay, so here's the thing.
Oh, I typed it in wrong.
Oh, you did it wrong? But either way, the git command is not in there. So go ahead and go ahead and up arrow. And then use your arrows to go and correct it. And then press enter. So git is not found. So it's still a problem. But the nice thing about what's cool about Linux is instead of like downloading an installer and running through the install process and all that, a lot of the development software is actually installed here in the terminal. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to type in sudo, which means I'm going to do something as a super user, space. And then you're going to do apt, which is the application command to be able to install. And then type in update and press enter. And it's going to ask for your password. So it does this for safety reasons, because when you download a script, they can automatically make, do stuff on the back end and you don't know about it. So it always stops and says, well, enter your password. This is so that you know that the script is trying to do something, okay? So now what we want to do is want to up arrow and change the update to upgrade. And press enter and hit yes or Y for yes. And so this is going to go and upgrade the software that it's going to go grab stuff from. And now what we want to do is we want to install Git with that same command. So you type in sudo apt install Git, enter, and hit yes. So this is going to install Git. Do you feel like you're in the matrix now?
Yeah, I'm like in double matrix because I'm in Linux now.
And then type in history. And so this is the history of your commands, right? And so you want to execute command number 8. So you can just type in !8 and press enter, and it'll run that command. And then go over to Visual Studio and open up your folder for your project, for one of your projects. Open folder. Go to Documents, Repos, go to Bootstrap's training, and open up one of them. Anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, the landing page is actually a good one. You see a little up arrow or Bootstrap, the little box where it says Bootstrap.
Landing page.
Yeah, and then hit OK. And then open up your index and right click and open up with Live Studio.
Live server.
Live server, yeah. And go ahead and quit Fox. Yeah, just quit that. And then open up Firefox, and you're going to open up local port 50, localhost colon 55. You need a colon.
Colon. Forgot. I was excited. What?
What?
That's cool. I made this.
This is one of the tutorials that you're following, right? For
Yeah.
bootstrap development. Is
That's,
this pretty cool or what?
yeah. This is cool. Yep, and it all works too. Um, how do I make it go to the side? Or make it
Well, you
small?
know what you need? You need to install Chrome because you're running Firefox right now.
Mhm.
So let's go ahead and close down Firefox.
Okay.
Or actually, never mind, cancel that. Right here, search for Chrome download. And go to the download and download Chrome. And this is for Linux. Yep. Accept and install. And open up with the software. Yep.
That's cool how it already knew it was Linux too.
Yep, they sure do. They know everything. Oh, install not supported. Go back to your apps. Oh, Chromium. There you go. Yeah, I think there's another way to install Google Chrome, but as long as Chromium's the same thing.
Oh, okay. They just call it Chromium on here.
Well, Chrome is based on Chromium browser. It's kind of like the foundation browser because Edge is also based on Chromium. All right, so now let's go to the activities again. There you go. And then go to localhost 5500. Don't forget the colon. And so now when you right click, you should be able to get your tools.
There we go.
Yeah, you can maximize that screen. Give you some better real estate.
Cool. Yeah. Awesome. It all works.
Oh, so if you want to do the mobile, so go ahead and yeah, shrink down your tools. You see the little element, yeah, that one right there, toggle device. And so in here, if you go to the upper left, you see where it says responsive.
Mhm.
You can go to a specific phone. So that gives you the look and feel for a phone. So that's your challenge. Your challenge is to do your development on Linux. And for anybody following, if they want to be truly cross-platform, this is where you want to be. And so you saw us go through the whole install, setting up the virtual machine. This is where you're gonna wanna do it. And so, what was the name of the podcast again?
The road to code.
Yeah, I like that name. That's a cool name.
Yep.
Um, yeah, I'm trying to think of like what else did they have. So they had some tests. They had some exploring. Did you try to do any of the samples that they had?
Yeah, I did the samples. And
Oh, really?
yeah.
Well, let's go ahead and create. So go back to your file browser. So open up your file browser and let's go to your documents. And then right click in here and create a new folder. And call it sandbox, all lowercase. And yeah, create it. And so let's go over to create one more folder inside the sandbox. Oh, you can call it first app.
Okay.
Yeah, create that. And then let's go back to Visual Studio Code and let's open up that folder and then hit OK. And then in here, when you create a file, we'll create it a C#. So wait, I think you're supposed to do, let's go, is it Control tilde to open up the terminal? No? Okay. Go to a terminal up at the menu. Yeah, new terminal.
Shift new terminal.
And in here, I think that you can type in net space, what is it? New console? Is that what the command was? Do you remember?
For what?
Oh, yeah, it's .net, sorry.
New console.
Oh, look at this, sudo snap. It even tells you what you need to do. Sudo snap install .net SDK. Enter your password.
I'm glad I picked an easy password for that. I didn't know I was gonna be typing in so much. Classic.
Up arrow, dash classic.
Space dash classic.
Yeah.
There we go.
All right, try .NET new console. You could do up arrow twice or 3 times. Oh. Open up that program CS file. Look at the one that it created.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, there it is.
Now look at what it's telling you on the bottom. It says install the plugin. So go ahead and install that. And this is for C#. And so that already installed it as soon as you clicked on that. So you close that tab. And so it gives you the color code and all that stuff. And I think it's actually doing something in the console. Oh, it's installing still. Installing the debugger. So yeah, just hang on there. Get the .NET Core. Yeah, sure. Oh, okay, yeah, we already got this. So you can close that. And what is this? So that should have, some projects have trouble loading. That's fine, you can close this. And I think that did it. Now go back to your terminal. And then type in .NET run.
Hey.
Hello world. So what is this doing?
In the terminal?
Well, the program itself.
This is just showing the text right here. Right?
Exactly, yeah. Let's go through this program a little bit. How long have we been going? Yeah, we got a couple minutes. So the program file is, this can be called anything. You can call it mainapp.cs. CS stands for C sharp, right? They just happen to call it program, and you're going to find this being very common in the industry. You have the project itself. The project, go ahead and click on that project. This is called XML. You could see it kind of looks like HTML, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
But HTML stands for hypertext markup language. So hypertext meaning it's for the web, right? It's going to be doing stuff in a browser. XML, it stands for extensive markup language, which is very generic, but it works very similar to HTML, except that there is no predefined tags. You make up the tags as much as you want. And so essentially what this is saying is it's just specifying that the output is an exe, which is an executable file, and the target framework is .NET 5.0. It's pretty simple. There's nothing more to it. It just uses this information when you run it. So when you do .NET run, it reads the project and it says, what am I supposed to do here? Like, oh, got it. This is an executable. We're targeting framework 5.0. And where's my program? And more importantly, if you go back to program, where is my main entry? And the main, the static void main, is like a reserved method that is used as an entry point that begins to execute the program itself. So any type of application that you create is going to have a main. Even when you do a web API, which runs on a network, there's a way to run it inside the console. And once we start creating those APIs, you'll see what I mean. But for now, let's focus on the syntax itself, right? You'll notice that it's nested with curly braces. And so it starts with a namespace. This is just a way to organize the information or the programs that you're putting together. And so a namespace is just a way of organizing, so that if you create an app called Week of Day, you can create a library that's called Week of Day, and you're going to have all this functionality to determine what's the week of the day for the current year, the current month, the current week, whatever the case is. Probably someone else in the world also came up with that idea, but the way that you make it unique is through this namespace. And so through this namespace, you would say, well, this is an application that belongs to the company called Jonathan, and this is a utility. So your namespace would be jonathan.utilities.calendar. Mm-hmm. And then the name of your class would be day of week. And then there would be a bunch of methods that would add functionality to the utility day of week. You with me? Mm-hmm. So that's essentially what it is. The class itself is the name. Most of the time, it's going to match the name of the file. In fact, I would say 99.99% of the times, the class is the name of the file. And so all we're doing is just specifying that this class is inside of the namespace. So if you were to fully qualify this class, you would say firstapp.program. Okay. If you were to reference this from anywhere else. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then to go even further, if you want to access the main method, you would fully qualify down to the method, firstclass.program.main. Because chances are you're going to have the name, the method, the same in another class. And so if you fully qualify it by including the namespace, the name of the class, and the name of the method, you can have two methods with the same name, but they belong to two different namespaces. And so that makes them unique, so that you can have the same method across multiple files or on multiple files. Mm-hmm. And then finally is the actual command, which is command or console.writeLine, and it executes the hello world. Okay. There's a lot going on here. I mean, there's like, you got using system. It was just one of the base class libraries. Remember we talked about BCL? Mm-hmm. So imagine you having to program the output hello world. The BCL gives you the capability of, within that system namespace, it says, hey, I have a class called console that has a method writeLine. If you just tell me what you want to write, I'll go ahead and output it to the console. And it does everything. It communicates with the operating system and your display, and essentially outputs that value to the terminal. But yeah, so when you're working with Visual Studio, doing this is a little different. Let's go ahead and did you install Visual Studio?
No, I didn't.
Okay, let's go to the Visual Studio download. And let's download the community edition. It'll start downloading. Give it a second. So this is actually downloading the true installer. So that was quite a bit of work that we did in Linux, right? With Visual Studio Code. We had to install the SDK, we had to install the extensions, and then in order to run it, we have to go back to the terminal and say .NET run. You have to be inside that folder. Visual Studio is a completely different. So what we're going to do is go ahead and just click on that first one, ASP and web development. Let's scroll down on that on the left side. Keep on going, scroll up a little bit slowly. .NET desktop development. That's probably good. Yeah, and then go ahead and install. And so with the magic of video editing, so this 99%, I kind of call it the football game, okay? Because you know how it, in one down, you can get from the first yard all the way to the first yard on the opposite side of the field. But it takes so long to get past that 1 yard sometimes.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go ahead and, so create an account. Do you have a, yeah, go ahead and create an account. Go back to Visual Studio, sign in. Oh, did you create one with Visual Studio Code?
Maybe.
All right, so let's create a new project, the option on the bottom. And you see where it says console app.NET Core, that's the one you want. Oh, you know what? Let's put some filters. So all languages, use the drop down for all languages up on top, up. Oh. Yeah, right there, C#. Yep. And then platform, you can select Linux. And then that's fine, the project type's fine. And then select the first one, .NET Core. So it's going to be a console app, .NET Core, click next. And then go ahead and click on the location, replace everything except the C:\\, replace it with sandbox. Yeah, and then give it my first app, the name, the project name. And then click create.
Wait, so it's going to go to the Linux machine?
No, this is going to run on your machine, but it also will run on the Linux machine. So you'll be able to copy that first app.exe and run it on your Linux machine. So here, okay, you'll notice that you have a solution on your right-hand side. The solution is called first app.
Yeah. And
then the project is called first app. And then you have that program, which is the same one that we just created. So the only difference between Visual Studio.NET and Visual Studio Code is that in Visual Studio.NET, you have a solution file. And the solution file is a container to hold multiple projects. So it actually can reference multiple projects within the solution. You know what I mean?
Say that one more time.
So the solution is a container that holds references to multiple projects.
Okay.
So in Visual Studio, you can only have one project at a time.
Yeah.
In Visual Studio Code, you can only have one project at a time. In Visual Studio, you can have multiple projects. So you can actually reference several projects.
Okay.
And so the solution holds that reference. Now, in Visual Studio Code, you have to go and do the .NET Run, right? Well, here, you see up in the center, right under the tools, between tools and extension, you see where it says first app, it has a little play button?
Yeah.
Click on that. Did it bring up a console somewhere?
Yeah. On the other screen.
There you go. Hello world.
Oh.
Yeah, when you press enter, it goes away. So instead of doing the whole terminal thing, it actually is built into Visual Studio in order to be able to run your application. So with Mac and Linux, you're going to be doing more terminal stuff, where with Windows, it's all kind of built in with Visual Studio. But it's the same thing.
Yeah.
You same exact concept. So pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
So I would say, let's see, for the next week, let's go through chapter 2, and we'll cover some of the stuff that they're talking about, and we're going to use both Visual Studio Code. And then when you and I get together next week, we'll also use Visual Studio 2019 in order to recreate what they're doing. And then we'll add a little bit more mojo to the whole Visual Studio 2019 experience. But I would say whatever examples they have in the book, you follow them within Linux, and follow what it is that he's actually talking about, and then we'll add more to it by using visualstudio.net. So you get experience of both, and you'll start seeing the power behind Visual Studio versus Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio Code, very powerful. I'm not taking anything away from it, but Visual Studio has some like specific power to it that really helps with development. And in the real world, there's ways to join multiple projects, and I'm sure there's ways to do it in Visual Studio Code, but it's probably more convoluted. I would imagine it's probably straightforward. It's a little bit more of a challenge, but anyways, that's pretty much it for this one. You want to kind of summarize and talk about how you're feeling about all this?
Yeah, this is kind of cool. Like I like this is literally like a multi-platform learning experience for me too. Like just following the book and doing it on all these different what they called
Operating systems.
Yeah, operating systems. And yeah, I'm excited to use all these tools.
And they're all free. I mean, everything's like, free, and Visual Studio is not open source, but it is free, the community edition, so it has some pretty cool stuff. Yeah, I mean, I can't wait to get through some of the the other exercises that they come with. And yeah, we'll see what next week brings. I haven't read chapter 2, so I'll see what it has, and then this way you'll go through some of the exercises, and then I'll fill in some blanks and help you extend the chapter 2 a little bit more. So
sounds good.
All right.
Yeah.
Fun.
We'll see you next week on The Road to Code.
On The Road to Code. What's going to be our closing? Are we going to have like this regular close, or what's it going to be like? Yeah. I'll let you come up with something for next week. Yeah. I like the podcast name already. All right. Well, you want to stop sharing your screen, and then we'll say goodbye until the next one. Mm-hmm. So what's the closing for now?
The closing is going to be adios until next week.
All right, son. Got you later. Have a good one.